I hope that you all feel that sense of, peace and light, and that just for a moment when you leave here today that you feel, a sense of joy. Because I think we all need we all need to feel joy now during this time of the season, during this time. So anyway, okay, now I'll start. You're all reading into that.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
tick faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick dastardly, a Muttley with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master ice. And living the true gods, giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
All right. All right. Welcome once again to the Beatzilla PDX official show. I am your host, Beatzilla PDX officially. And this is the weekly wrap up. And we're doing this news break edition, as you can see. So with that being said, we are here on a tape delay. I know it's Saturday evening, so And we know how people got, they other favorite content creators. I know there's brother Jason Black. There's one that's live, and shoot, probably a few others tonight. So I am not planning on being here long. Plus, we also did the live stream yesterday. So salute to everybody who tuned in to that. I appreciate that. And real quick, I just want to talk about as you were coming in before that, as you were coming in, please hit that like button, share this out on your social media. If you're watching this on X, please come over to the YouTube channel and follow the YouTube channel Beatzilla PDX official on YouTube. And if you would like to also support this channel, you can join this channel as well and become a member. Now, when you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that notification bell. Hit the word all, that way you'll be notified anytime this channel goes live or a video is uploaded or premieres. So, with that being said, peace, power, blessings, and protection be upon each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning in once again. And so we have the topic of who is the trusted media? And there's been a lot of talk about X, and they try to blame all the disinformation on Elon Musk. And if they can't blame Elon Musk, then they're saying this new media, which these white podcasters have long had their platforms and programs, and Joe Rogan is not new to media at all. Matter of fact, he's very well known. So he could not qualify as a new media because he's already had his platform for quite some time and also had his profile, his public profile, for even longer. So when people are trying to say new media, I would say they're just leaving out the B, and that's new black media. And again, as you know, we have the tendency to set certain trends. And when we set trends, everybody else tends to follow suit. And, it's no different, no different in this scenario either, as it's turning out. And so we have a few of these folks that are now coming out and saying some things about how the media has basically changed, and they did not want to give up the truth and say that black folks actually influence not only other black voters but also other possible white and non-black voters from to stay home as well. That's why they're talking about having to reach the people who stayed home. They are very well aware of how they lost. And because the number of people who registered voters who stayed home is larger than what either party could turn out. So there was no lesser of two evils in this particular situation. It was either give me tangibles or that's it. We'll stay home. And that's absolutely what happened. So as you see on the screen, Jasmine Crockett, they interviewed her on Meet the Press. And this has been, you've been hearing a few of these people over here in around these caucuses and these squad members throwing out there in the wind. And you first heard Hillary Clinton pushing that line too about censorship and where people get their information from. What they don't want is the grassroots type of connection. They despise it. Because when we're dealing on levels of the grassroots, we're not funded by people to keep you blind. We're not funded by anybody. We're doing this basically simply on the strength of our love and compassion for our people. And so you can't really, that's a hard nut to crack, because at the end of the day, people are not going to change where their heart is. And if their heart is with the people, then that's what you have to honor. And these people have not truly accepted that they have lost touch of people, and they believe that they are going to be able to make a quick rebound by doing the same thing. And I don't believe they are. However, I'm seeing Van Jones come out, and he is starting to speak a different type of language, same as Charlemagne has. However, we do know one big major thing about the Democratic Party is they will absolutely not take advice from a black man. So let's hear what Jasmine Crockett first has to say.
Why do you think Democrats lost, and what do you think needs to happen by the midterms and the next presidential election in order to find your footing again?
Well, Kristen, no disrespect to you. I think you do great work. But the reality is that those that tune in to traditional news sources, they absolutely went for us. And we know that the standards that you have to live by as an actual journalist are completely different from other platforms. And so we know that we were winning for those that were tuning into the traditional news sources. But when it came down to people getting their news from places that really aren't even news sources, they were going for Donald Trump by 19 points. And that is exactly why we lost. The reality is that we're going to have to play in spaces that we've never had to play and make sure that we're communicating in all ways. Unfortunately, we can't just rely on the mainstream media to get our message across.
Yeah, these other sources are each other and themselves doing their own research, and that is the one thing they can't stand. When we talk and we confer amongst each other and we come together and we say this is our agenda, that's the only major difference that has kind of taken place this go around. And um, I don't think these people have thoroughly been honest with that scenario. But they're going to have to be. Now, like I said, Van Jones actually has a different take. And so it's different than the Sonny Holstons and those type of loons, and the Angela Rye, who uh, has admitted to basically looking up to Kamala Harris, but at the same time knowing that Kamala Harris wasn't messing with her own black staff. That is the type of treachery that we need to rid ourselves of as a community, and we do not need to give space for behavior like that. That is literally something against the collective as a whole, and selling bad information to the people and pushing bad information to the people while besmirching other folks pushing the truth. That's wicked as hell. So let's hear what Van Jones is, the message he's trying to get over to the Democrats. And we'll see if they listen. I got 2 clips of him kind of putting out his philosophy or his 2 cents. And so I'll play you the first clip and then we'll move on to the second.
In the Philly suburbs. And I'm telling you, we are way off. The entire political class is way off. First of all, digital is a new door knocking. Mm-hmm. You got to understand that. We were laughing our butts off at Donald Trump for suspending his door knocking campaign and letting Charlie Kirk and Elon do a bunch of stuff online. Mm-hmm. We said, these guys are idiots. These guys are stupid. Then you start knocking on these doors. You know what people come to the door with? Their phone in their hand. They're in a 24-hour digital surround sound that has nothing to do with CNN, has nothing to do with any stuff that we do. I asked I got a teenage son, I asked him, who are the most influential people in the world today? I'm thinking to myself, he's going to say Barack Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z. He says, Kai Cent, Aiden Ross, Jinxie, and Sketch. I don't know who he's talking about. I said, what platforms are you on? He goes, I'm on Twitch, Kick, and Rumble. I said, that sounds like you need to go to the hospital. What are these platforms? I'm telling you guys, the mainstream has become fringe, and the fringe has become mainstream. There are platforms, there are people out there that are getting 14 million streams, and we're on cable news getting 1 or 2 million. And so there is a whole world out there. Kellyanne Conway, I hate to agree with her, but I do a lot of times. Donald Trump understood that and we didn't. And that's not just Democrats that don't. The entire political class is way off, way off, way off.
And I could not disagree. One of the things that you also have to remember, and this is one thing that can go back to Roland Martin making this comment. He said that what Trump was doing and all Trump WDC, all he doing is he's ear hustling in these spaces with these FBAs. But now what does that say? You don't hear nobody rushing to come out and with that truth now, do you? Nobody's rushing to hop out the window with that fact no more. I wonder why. And it's simply because this is the truth that they know. We did influence that many people. It's that clear, folks. And they know it. So to sit up here and act like, now it's the media and they still say, like I said, I was listening to Al Sharpton the other day. And that's what I spoke about yesterday. Just understanding that the mindset people are still under this delusion that the Democrats are like black folks identifying as Democrats as they've done something for us, and they have not. And then the misrepresentation of the actual situation is so much over the top fear that these people haven't even stopped just to analyze what's in front of them. Because the fear mongering, I'm noticing how they're keeping people on that treadmill of fear. But why? Because now with this, I guess they figure they can oversaturate the field with anti-MAGA. But here's the problem they're having. They're not having a MAGA problem. They're having an America problem. And so the people of America are looking for certain, I guess, certain things, you know what I'm saying? Like do something with the border. We literally watch these people. I guess, let me look at it this way. We watched them vilify Donald Trump and fearmonger everybody in 2020 against Donald Trump, right? Joe Biden is supposed to deliver for black folks. He never did. He doesn't. He's on his way out, still not doing it. Passes some bootleg clemency thing, doesn't issue pardons for these people though. So they still have their damn charges in their felony records. They may just be getting out of jail soon, but they still have those records. So that's not the big help that they're trying to make it seem. See, all the underhanded things that this guy does to Black America, and then we have these stupid shills coming out after the fact, trying to clean it up and say that this is a good thing for Black people. And I think at this stage in the game, they are recognizing that class and group of people no longer has any footing in controlling the future of the Black vote. And I think we demonstrated that very, very eloquently this go around in this election cycle. And these people are shook, and rightfully so. So let's hear again Van Jones get out there and blow the whistle to these folks. But let's see if they hear him. Let's check him out.
How the hell did Donald Trump figure out the mainstream media is the fringe and the fringe is now the mainstream? How the hell did Donald Trump figure out? I mean, Joe Rogan is obvious, right? Like, we knew the guy had a big audience. It's not like we were like stunned, but like, how the hell was he, the 78-year-old guy who doesn't even have a computer and still like writes handwritten notes? How did he become the guy who cracked the code on, to your point, running a cultural, I don't even want to say campaign, running
it was a movement. Look,
heading a cultural movement versus a campaign.
Every one of your people knows Elon. Listen. Yeah. So everybody keeps, the problem is you have a framework in your mind that how can Donald Trump? Guys, can we cut it out? Donald Trump is not an idiot. Donald Trump, let me just be very clear. Donald Trump is smarter than me, you, and all critics. You know why we know? Because he has the White House, the Senate, the House.
Totally agree.
Court, the popular vote. He has a massive media ecosystem bigger than the mainstream built around him and for him, and a religious fervor in a political movement around him. And his best buddy is the richest person in the history of the world, and the most relevant Kennedy is with him. This dude is a phenomenon. He is the most powerful human on earth and in our lifetime, and we're still saying, well, how was this guy? We look like idiots to ordinary people.
You're totally right.
And he's speaking nothing but the truth. Van Jones is telling you the truth, folks. But he's leaving out, and they are all omitting something. Because you had to go back to what, like I said, Roland Martin was telling people that he was ear hustling from the grassroots. Meaning, they followed the strategy of those of us who say no tangibles, no vote. And that right there in itself should sit with some people and be like, man, what were we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what have we been doing all this time? But instead, we're seeing people try to revert right back to, we're seeing the gender war stuff coming back out. It's like, and at the end of the day, intersectionality took a major blow with this election, and what America's shown the far left is that a lot of that stuff is being rejected. You have, and here's the problem with the Democrats when they lose. All of a sudden, you have people who, like, I'm hearing Jasmine Crockett is not going to attend the inauguration. And all of these people have boasted of, they have all boast themselves of like not being divisive and stuff like that. But then they'll turn around and do divisive stuff. And so when you're looking at all of these Democrats and the Democratic shields, like Jasmine Crockett, well, she's actually a politician, but like the Joy Reid's, Joy Reid is still really trying to get people to stay in fear mode. And so here's what she's doing these days.
Better or for worse is not much of a ringing endorsement, and we all know which one Trump falls under. And let's remember who else has been given this title in years past in the same category: Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Ayatollah Khomeini, and Vladimir Putin. In fact, Stalin won the distinction twice, just like Trump. Regardless of the company he keeps, we know how important these magazine covers are to Trump. Just look at this tour he gave the Washington Post in 2015 of his Trump Tower office, with a wall adorned with his various cover appearances.
They find every reason to hate the guy. And again, I'm not really mad at that. You know, at the end of the day, if you don't like him, you don't like him. You don't have to. And it's understandable. It's understandable why you wouldn't. I get it, but it's not changing any truths. And that's a problem. It's not changing any of these facts. And I don't know what people are looking at. You have Kamala Harris's staff that has to come out and talk about how they was getting dogged. I mean, she don't fool with black folks at all. And I just don't understand why people can't seem to understand that. But now that they're trying to get this censorship conversation cracking, it's something that we need to be mindful of as a unit, because what they want to do is silence the voice of the grassroots. And of course, by way of doing that, you also go after the voices of new black media. Now, with that, we already know what time it is, because they have been offering or been showing us exactly what we mean to the Democrat Party. And that's just to be used for votes and nothing else. And then when we want tangibles, all we get is this.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Meanwhile, we have a bunch of illegals over here who is just caking up, getting all kind of free stuff. And when they were coming over here, where they thought Joe Biden was at the chance of maybe getting another term, oh, they were calling their folks up, and you seen all those caravans coming up because when you giving away all of this free stuff while knowing you could break the law coming into this country because so many of these other fake amnesty groups are helping them coming over here for the agenda of flooding the zone against foundational Black Americans. All you got was a bunch of drug dealing gangs coming over here because you opened the floodgates, and this is what we got. Who needs any kind of message from the media when you are seeing all of these illegals getting what they're getting? You are seeing workers being able to post their receipts on their own pages that they're showing you what people are getting out here. This ain't cool. And Chicago, out of all places, you have seen be the worst at, you're trying to raise taxes on the actual citizens to take care of illegals. That's insane. And so now that we have a new regime coming into office, there are a lot of people who are over here with the whole, man, it's going to cost so much money for mass deportation. Well, let it be so, because once you cut off Ukraine and in these wars that we've been funding, and you make other people pay their way and pay their tab and pay their fair share, which America under the Democrats never seem to do. Remember, that's why a lot of these people are dreading him coming back into office, because one thing Trump did do with all of those, all that money that goes out for America, he was making sure America paid less out to these foreign countries, and the rest of the UN kicked in instead of the United States and footing the entire bill, which that's what keeps happening under Democrats. But of course, now we're seeing why that is and who was getting these residual off the little back money. And now we have pardons for presidents' sons and crimes that may have been discovered or yet not yet to be discovered, and he getting a full pardon, but then he gives clemency to the people to whom his laws, the same laws he pardoned his son from, he puts clemency versus the pardon that he gave his son on those people to whom were sitting in prison for all of these years under those same charges that he pardoned his son from. So his son doesn't have a felony on his record, but all of those clemency people still do. If you understand how that works. So please don't jump in black folks' face talking about how he did something good. Here, see what he did. No, there's still a slap in the face. And so for all of that to say, you want us now, especially Al Sharpton, kick rocks, man. You are literally trying to tell foundational Black Americans that we need to be fighting for these disrespectful, condescending tethers who have all of this time been so proud when they thought Democrats was firmly in power. Now they see that it's something different and they want our help. Listen here, man. Over here, we got a trusted, proven saying, because this is our belief over here, and this is why you have Trump in office. Hashtag fire up the jet. Yes, 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 indeed. Oh man. So there was this other thing, and I played it at the very beginning of this broadcast for those who are just now tuning in. I'm gonna play this before we go, but because again, I told y'all this was going to be a very short broadcast. I just wanted to finish up on what I was talking about yesterday and actually show you the clips that I was referring to. Um, but this clip I put together, it's called "Petty and Red." And if you have been paying attention to some of the things that have been going on between Jill Biden and Kamala Harris, it has been it's been a very pettied little back and forth. And so I just wanted to show you a little bit of how this looks. But I have Hillary Clinton for good measure, just to give you reverence uh, or reference for this red power suit that they like wearing. I guess it makes them feel presidential or vice presidential or first lady-ish. But nonetheless, check it out.
And I give you permission that if you are going to someone's house who doesn't know how to cook, bring your own dish. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm all about no regrets.
So I hope that you all feel that sense of, peace and light, and that just for a moment when you leave here today that you feel, I don't know, a sense of joy. Because I think we all need like this, we all need to feel joy now during this time of the season, during this time. So anyway, okay, now I'll start. You're all reading into that.
Petty and red. Oh Lord. But in closing, uh we are looking at I think we're looking at 2025, 2026. I think it's going to be an aggressive move for censorship. Um, the one thing about when the people are standing up and the people are speaking for themselves as the people to whom are in legacy media, they actually see themselves as the mechanism of basically mind control. And so you are supposed to go to them to disseminate information versus anywhere else. And what they are now trying to say is remember before, people used to say, you can't believe everything you see on the internet. One thing we've learned over the past year is that you can't believe legacy media. These people knew Joe Biden was nowhere near a win. And they knew that back in January of last year. The Democrat Party lost in such great fashion, and they were well aware that they were losing while lying to the American people. The media still has its part to play in that as well, as the Shields, as the radio hosts, as those Congressional Black Caucus people. All of those people have to answer for lying to Black America, especially. Telling us that, Joe Biden is fine and Kamala Harris ran the greatest campaign and flawless and perfect. She didn't speak for the first month and a half. She stayed in hiding and didn't do any press conferences. And then every interview that she did after that was paid for to be a friendly interview. That is not how a leader represents leadership. Leadership has to be unwavering and strong. And it also has to be accountable for its failures. And that is a campaign that lost over $1 billion and ended up in debt without even paying everybody they were supposed to pay. That is not good leadership. That is not a flawless campaign. Matter of fact, it shows you and demonstrates the bullet that America missed in somebody who is so fiscally irresponsible at a time of mass inflation. And the stock market already has been making turns since Trump is actually he's a Trump, president-elect. But now you have like a lot of these people that are upset, he acting like he president already. Well, where the country is headed is going to be led under his direction. I don't understand what we're talking about. We're a little over a month away. Where he needs to get those relations back popping. Number one, some of these world leaders already have relationships with him since he was the last president. It makes sense that he would get back in the saddle because, again, you want a president. Here's the thing. Shouldn't have Kamala Harris been doing what he is doing now? Shouldn't she have been doing that all the while back when she sat silent for 30 days? Shouldn't she have been doing things like that? But instead, she stayed hidden, and we got Meg the Stallion twerking her butt on the stage. That's what we got. That makes no sense. And people still co-signing that are crazy. It makes no sense, and it defeats the purpose of empowerment. So for the folks that say, well, man, we got to just go ahead and still support the Democrats because that's all we got. And, having all we got being based up into some party that ain't never gave a damn about the plight of your people is like crazy. And so to ask people to subscribe to such a notion, and the one thing that these people have now came to the realization of, when the truth speaks, when the truth moves, everybody else listens, pays attention, follows, and the trend starts there. You cannot lead from behind with lies. And now you only look delusional because everyone knows the truth. Now, when it comes down to our empowerment, there might be people that say this could be compromised. We absolutely will never do such a thing because this is the one big thing that all of them know. And the question of the night is, who is the trusted media? That is the Black grassroots and new Black media. Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to a weekly wrap up. This has been a short Saturday edition. And thank you for tuning in to the live yesterday and tuning in right now. Much appreciative of that. We did the roll call on Wednesday this week. And in the meantime, we've had Dark Skinned Brother, who y'all saw renew his membership. So he's been a membership of, I believe, a member of 21 months. So salute to our brother, dark skinned brother, and all our members. Thank you so much. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be upon each and every one of you. I greatly appreciate it. And so when we see a lot of these, like the TikTok shield class and all of those folks that like screaming on black folks, they're going to have to find a way to get their stick together. Because the one thing that I believe the Democrats cannot afford going into the midterm elections is having a bunch of TikTok shills and internet buffoons disrespecting the foundational Black American vote. And when you come around us men folk, I think all that finger wagging thing, I think that maybe the lesson might have already been taught and people would understand that is not gonna cut it. You can't wag your finger at the people that you targeted for harm. Just simply doesn't work that way. And I know a lot of people wish we would just lay down and take whatever they talking about and say, well, man, we can't disrupt the Democrats. The Democrats been good. I beg to differ. Anybody, just because they smile in your face and don't call you the N-word does not mean they're your friends. And you saw how the white women were not gonna sit up here and put their votes and trust and futures into Kamala Harris's hands. You know why? Because they have children. And so being a parent and being of that unit and knowing that you need families intact for their communities, they would never make that move. And I hope that that message resonates in a lot of our sisters' spirits going into this next phase. There's a lot of women out here that subscribe to that intersectionality and that feminism bull. And then you see these people turn right around and burn you. Again, you're dealing with this whole trans issue and acting like black women have something to do with white men wanting to be women. And you don't, because when they speak about that trans issue, that does not include black trans women. That is all about white men that want to be women. And that's not even about all trans women. That is literally white men wanting to identify as women. Now, understand what I mean when I say that. Trans women, there's the people that say, I have gender dysphoria. I'm literally doing this because this is how I feel I am inside. But the men, the white men that want to be women, see this as juking the system. And so you open the door for weirdo fraud. But people don't want to see that part of the game until people are getting harmed, and then they still try to downplay it. But this is the truth of the matter. When you open these doors, you cannot control who comes through it. And with us as the Black community growing up such a conservative manner, there's so much of that madness that we will never accept, no matter how liberal you get. And that's why we are abandoning that whole BIPOC designation and that people of color designation. We are a singular entity, not black and brown. It is black, full stop. And if you can't understand that, well, I speak for myself. Beatzilla PDX official, the Beatzilla PDX official show. Those of you in the chat, the grassroots, and the voices of new black media, I am certain I speak for all parties involved when we proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you for tuning in. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket by way of donation, you could do so at CashApp, $BeatZillaPDX. And we also have PayPal, which is Zilla Music. That is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. And so with that being said, it's about that time to mosey on. And you guys, I told you this would be a short broadcast, and as you see, it is. So keep your notification bells on. We will be resuming with a little higher volume of posting next week. So keep your notification bells on. That's all I can tell you. And make sure you subscribe to this channel on YouTube if you're watching on X, because the videos that air during the week are not going to be airing on X. Only 2 videos air on X. That's this and the midweek report. So all the other videos you'll be missing if you do not subscribe to the YouTube channel, Beatzilla PDX Official. So with that being said, we are done for this evening. Y'all have a good, wonderful night. Y'all keep y'all 3 smooth stones at the ready and your slingshot nearby. Stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Let me do this right here. Yes, you see me right there, and y'all see all those beautiful places at the bottom. So make sure you take heed. So like I said, black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Y'all have a blessed weekend. Hold on.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir, you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. Yes. See, that's what you throw. Yes, right, right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knocked out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.
Thank you.